Hi, good evening. I'm Sean Green with a look at sports. Well, South Africa's hopes of victory on day 5 of the second test against the West Indies were thwarted this morning by heavy overnight rain and a wet outfield which prevented any play. The West Indies were supposed to resume from their overnight total of 275 for 9, still 142 runs behind the host, who scored 417 for 8 declared. Now, play was called off just after 7 a.m. Barbados time, with 2 pools of water in the outfield showing no signs of drying out significantly to get play. Craig Brathwaite was named man of the match in the drawn game.
Quite happy, just want to thank God first of all for giving me the strength to go there and, get 100. Obviously it was hard work and, I just believed in myself when I did it.
I would imagine that when you knew you were coming here and playing against this quality seam attack for South Africa, you would have put a lot of research in and a lot of training analysis work behind the scenes?
But yeah, of course. Obviously #1 team in the world, so I know it's not going to be easy. But obviously I did my research and, it was in your nets working hard and, some hard work paid off.
So now that you've got that 100 against these guys, and yes, you want to continue, I'm sure, in Cape Town, what does it mean to you personally to get 100 against this attack?
Yeah, it means a lot. Obviously, growing up as a little man, watching test cricket, it's good to actually be here and then, to score 100 against, #1 team, where it's a good milestone for me. I just want to keep going from strength to strength from here.
And you had nice support from Marlon Samuels in this test.
But yeah, batting with him, was good. Obviously, he's a guy I looked up to also as a little man, and, he enjoyed every moment of it.
What was the toughest part of the century?
I think, he spelled, Marco put on in the early morning session, with some sharp ball and stuff. That was quite testing. But, once I worked through that, I said, let's go on and look to get a big score.
And finally, how do you embrace that? Is that something you really enjoy when it gets nice and tough and you're just a youngster, when it gets nice and tough in the middle and the ball's flying around the ears?
Yeah, any day, once you can fight through those sort of things, you could battle anything, around the world in terms of cricket. So I don't want to say, fight hard. Obviously it won't be easy. I get through those periods, you'll score a lot of runs.
Congrats, Craig. Well, South Africa lead the 3-match series 1-0 with the final match starting in Cape Town on Friday. News of squash now. Barbados' top squash players came up against some tough opposition when the Barbados Squash Club hosted exhibition matches last evening at the Marine Gardens. Specially invited guests, the Sobey family from Long Island, USA, battled the top males and females on the island. World number 11 and U.S. national champion Amanda Sobey, younger sister Sabrina, who is ranked at number 52, and her brother Omar are on the island for a short vacation and to continue their training. By the end of the night, spectators weren't disappointed. CBC's Damien Best takes a look at some of the matchups.
Let's start things off with some doubles action, and all Beijing affair. Rhett Cumberbatch and Sean Simpson in blue playing Kieran Meekins and Gavin Cumberbatch. Simpson missing out their point to his opponents. Meekins and Gavin off to a good start, but it was never going to be straightforward. Rhett with the drop shot and Meekins out to sea. In fact, Rhett and Sean took the first game 11-9. Gavin not able to get it up and over the tin. The second game now, Simpson using his long reach and power to force his opponents into an error. Meekins caught on her heels. Well, it wasn't all one-way traffic. Meekins and Gavin had their moments. This was one of the longer rallies. Who would break first? Placement holding the key perhaps. And yes, indeed, Meekins getting one to drop at the last moment. And Rhett can't handle. However, when the dust had settled, it was Rhett Cumberbatch and Sean Simpson going on to defeat Kieran Meekins and Gavin Cumberbatch 11-9, 11-7. Singles now. Little time for Simpson to regroup. He's taking on Omar Sobey of USA. Sobey using the side wall to his advantage. And indeed, Sobey would take the first game in this 2 best of 3 matchup, 11-2. Lessons to be learnt then. Well, a change of shirt for Simpson in the second game and maybe a fresh perspective. And that seemed to be working in his favor. Initially, Sobey with all the shots in the world, but on this occasion finds the tin at the base of the wall. But Sobey was in a league of his own and will close out the matchup as easy as 1, 2, 3, 2 straight, 11-2, 11-3. In the ladies matchup, Kieran Meekins in yellow taking on Sabrina Sobey first up. Meekins gave a good account of herself, pushing Sabrina all the way, but the Belgian went down 15-11. Then Meekins clashed with Amanda Sobey, who's ranked 11th in the world, and I guess I don't have to tell you how tough an assignment that would be. Amanda cruising to a 15-4 victory. All in all, it was an entertaining and exciting exhibition. Damien Best, CBC Sports.
Thanks, Damien. And after the exhibition, the Squash Association presented some special appreciation awards. The two Barbadian referees at last month's CAC Games, Orson Simpson and Marlon White, were among them, as well as President of the Barbados Olympic Association, Steve Stout, for their contribution to that sport, that is, for the past decade. Back to cricket news, and Shane Dorrit scored a century today for the Nurse 11 and in the third Barbados trial match for the upcoming WICB Nagico Super 50. Shai Hope fell just short of a ton, while Kevin Stout scored a half-century at the Wanderers, but it wasn't enough to secure a win for the Stout 11. Marsha Boyce was there for some of the early action.
The Stout 11 batting first had already lost the wicket of Rashidi Boucher, but Kirk Edwards and Shane Paris set about building a partnership. Paris, who was dropped on 22, welcomed Jerome Jones into the attack straight, driving him back down the ground. But the very next delivery, Jones got his man. Paris caught by Carl Hope for 28, Stout 11 49 for 2. Ashley Nurse had replaced Tino Best at the southern end, and Edwards wasn't about to let him settle, picking up 3 boundaries in the 13th over, here going through mid-wicket for 4. But after a good start, he wouldn't carry on. Fidel Edwards taking a good low catch to give Carlos Brathwaite his first wicket. Kirk Edwards gone for 31, Stout 11 74 for 3. Shea Hope was at the other end and he wasn't deterred, favouring the leg side for a boundary, taking them to 87 for 4. He and Kevin Stout would take the side past the 100 mark by the 19th over, just the start of what would turn out to be a big partnership. Now Stout launching Jamal Warrican out of the ground for the first 6 of the match. They were 144 for 3 at that stage. Kenroy Williams came into the attack, but he couldn't stem the flow of boundaries initially either. In no time, both batsmen had brought up half-centuries. Fidel Edwards and Best returned for the power play overs and were dispatched for a flurry of boundaries. That 4 from Stout brought up the team 200. Stout facing up to Best now. 1 bounce into the mid-wicket boundary. Hope now playing this one nicely, going through point for 4. 219 for 3 now. He took on Best as well, over long off for another boundary. They put on 171 runs for the 4th wicket before Warrican got the breakthrough. Stout swiping and missing, bowled for 82, 245 for 4 the score. We're into the 45th over. Hope eyeing a century, going for the maximum of Nurse. 6 runs taking him to 92. He would lose a partner in Marlon Malcolm Goodman, who was bowled by Edwards for 10. The new batsman Javon Searles wasn't wasting any time with less than 2 overs to go, dispatching Edwards for the 3rd 6 of the match. Final over, Shea Hope needing 4 more for a century, but he would fall short, caught by Nikolai Paris off Brathwaite for 96. The Stout 11 would get up to 280 for 6 off their 50 overs. Marsha Boyce, CBC Sports.
Well, thanks, Marsha. Carlos Brathwaite ended with 2 for 29. Then chasing 281 to win, the Nurse 11 got home with 3 balls to spare, ending on 284 for 7 to win by 3 wickets. Shane Dorrit top scored with 120, while opener Cal Corbin, he made 47. Javon Searles took 2 for 53 and Jamar Griffith 2 for 74. Further afield, Australia regained the Border Gavaskar Trophy after the 3rd test with India ended in a draw today. The stalemate in Melbourne means Australia are